Hi there, my name is Anna and I am a curate at St Margaret's in Aspley, and I'm new to the diocese. I moved here only a few months ago. I moved up from Devon where I lived for a really long time, and so in many ways this season has been one of huge change, and I'm sure you can relate to that. It's been a year of being stripped back and being pruned in a lot of the things that I've known. A lot of the things that I'd identified myself by have been kind of taken away. They aren't here any longer as I find myself in a brand new context. And in many ways, it's felt like a season of grief, a season of mourning as I've had to let things and people go. And those seasons are never comfortable, are they? I'm sure many of you can relate to that. The last year has felt like a year-long Lent, really, as we've been stripped back and pruned and things have been taken away. But I have carried a hope in my heart over the whole of the last year. And I've had the words of John ringing in my mind where it says that unless a grain of wheat it falls to the ground and is buried, it will not grow fruit. But if it falls to the ground and is buried and dies, then it will produce much fruit. And that has been the hope really that I've lived with over the last year, that as I allow things to die in me, as I go through grief and allow God to strip things back and to prune me, the hope that I've carried is that there is new life on the way, that death leads to life. And when we are close to Jesus, we know that to be true, that death leads to glory and to new fruit, and that God is making a way in our lives for a new thing. And as we journey through Holy Week, we see that, don't we? That Jesus is heading towards a death. In many ways, we're celebrating a death over the next week, but only because it leads to glory. Death leads to glory. And C.S. Lewis says, that death is just the beginning. It is only a new beginning. And so that is the hope that we carry with us. And in Thessalonians it says, we do not mourn like those who have no hope. We have an enduring hope that death leads to new life. And so my top tip really for enduring in that hope through wilderness seasons, through desert seasons, like the one we've experienced maybe over the last year, is to stick close to people who will remind you of that truth, who will remind you of new life on the way, of new fruit on the way, who will keep speaking hope and life over you. When I was facing the move, I just gathered a group of friends around me online who would commit to praying for me, to texting me, bits of scripture, to just speaking words of hope over me on the days where I would feel like I want to give up, that things are too tough. So that would be my top tip. Stick close to people who will speak life over you when you're experiencing death.